I know it's hard because we have the graveyard session right after lunch, so we will try to make it as awakening as possible. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. We have high-ranking panelists here on stage. To my left, Mykolas from Bybit, Roger, ESG advisor, and he will introduce himself, and Dejan from Kriptomat. All three are experienced financial experts with different background, of course, and different levels of crypto experience. Myself, my name is Crypto Robby, or that's a brand I had. My name is Robby Schwertner. I'm from Vienna, and I will lead us through the next 30 minutes, approximately. Mykolas, maybe you introduce yourself and then say how you entered crypto and what are you doing with Bybit. Bybit, by the way, if you have, I will allow questions later. It's the largest exchange worldwide, with the founder never having been in prison, huh? So
and it will never be.
That's an achievement.
And it will never be.
How are you?
So thank you for the wonderful introduction. So yes, I am with Bybit, and so it happened that before joining Bybit, I had the two most hated professions in the world.
Okay.
I was investment banker, and a politician. So when people tell me that crypto is full of drama and risk, I feel that I've done my volatility training already. So I'm prepared. On a serious note, I work with a global team in Singapore.
Yeah.
I work remotely. I look after the policy side. And the policy, we try to bridge innovation with the regulation, and mostly work with the governments and authorities in trying to ensure that whatever the global innovation powerhouse does, it's compliant with the rules.
So you see all white shirts here on stage, so that means we are in the banking section. Stablecoin. Can you imagine Cosmoverse with a panel, with a track even? Stablecoins? So boring. Yes, interesting. Also, but you're head of policy, but you were also economic advisor to the Prime Minister of Lithuania. So what would you advise him now in crypto and stablecoins? Well,
it's. I think what we are seeing right now, it's an arms race between crypto and governments, and you know who's going to win. It's going to be crypto, because crypto is more unified. It has infinite resources, and it has the best talent. And if you take a simple example, and our panelist here, Dejan from Estonia, he's got a wonderful company that he's running, biggest exchange in Estonia. And if we look at the student that, say, finishes Tartu University, and you give him an opportunity to work either for Kriptomat, greatest company in Estonia, or work for the government. And you know where 90% of them would do? They will go and work for his company, because it's double the salary, more of the opportunities, and it's got the flexibility of working. And it reminds me that we've been here a little bit before, back in 2008, when the best talented people went to work for investment banks.
2008, that brings me to Roger. That's your keyword, huh? 2008.
Yeah.
You mentioned you worked for UBS.
Yes.
From something to 2007.
83 to 2007. Just
2007.
Before the crisis,
for the ones who don't remember, that's the financial crisis, 2008.
Yes.
I remember. I lost some funds. Yeah.
So I'm coming from another world, meaning I'm teaching for 44 years in the financial industry since 42 years. I entered the industry when everything was manual. Yeah. The only thing we had was telex. There was no fax. There was nothing. No PC. Nothing. Yeah. Mobile phone was a type of illusion which came much later. And it's interesting. What is it cannot be crypto, Roger. Obviously, it cannot. But I'm coming from a world where I like to observe.
Yeah.
And I'm very much marked by big milestones. Big milestone was 1992 with the arrival of internet, which completely transformed the way we are looking at things with access to information via internet, which didn't exist before. Of course, also the mobile phone, which brought in a democratic way. It was somewhere 97, 98, with the arrival where everybody had some type of Nokia in his pocket. All these things were making things much more fluid and moving forward. And when I look now, I'm basically retired for the last 3 years, but retired on paper.
I like the history part, because you mentioned 87 you started. 87 was the first year, there was a...
83.
83.
87 was, I was in New York in 87.
That was the financial crisis,
yes,
huh? There was a big crash.
I was in the towers of the World Trade Center, which does not exist anymore.
But that was a big crash. That was one of the biggest crash because of the computer systems.
But still, when I look
just
with
at
distance,
the time that I started walking.
Look, I had so many crises.
You mentioned you started walking.
I started walking.
Roger, then 98 was the baht crisis, then the pound crisis.
We had the Asian crisis in 97. I was in Singapore. I had so many crises.
When you look
but the one not to forget is 2008. That's the one to remember. Yes, very clear.
Dejan, you're from Kriptomat, which is something. A Kriptomat sounds like an automat where you can get cryptos, and you have more than 500,000 active users. Congratulations! Thanks. And so, what's your take for stablecoins, and how did you enter, and when did you ever buy your first stablecoin?
Since you were asking about the history, I need to mention that before this, like years ago, I used to work in the entertainment business. I used to do entertainment. I used to do big rave parties. I actually used to do one here in Split on the beach, like really big one with David Guetta and stuff like that. And then I entered into the world of startups and started building them, and I failed. I think 3 times, went bankrupt, started Kriptomat. And this is how I got into all of this. And before that, I had zero knowledge about finance, zero knowledge about compliance, and so on. But it all somehow escalated to this point that for the last 2 years, I have been nominated by the International Compliance Association as the Financial Crime Prevention Leader of the Year for somebody that 10 years ago didn't even know what compliance is. So I dare to say that with the resources that we have within our company, and with the amount of work we have put in, we have built something amazing, and I'm happy to be here.
And you mentioned also you're working, because that's now geopolitics, you're working out of Estonia?
We're working out of Estonia.
But you're Croatian, but...
No, actually, I was born in Croatia, I live in Slovenia and I run a company in Estonia.
So if you want to have questions later, he can speak maybe also Croatian, Slovenian.
Sure, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
we operate out of Estonia, but our target markets are mostly the Eastern European markets from Tallinn to Athens, and we're trying to focus on those markets because at the end of the day, nobody's building anything for those markets. Most of the big players, they focus on Germany's and Spain's and so on. So we like to collaborate with people from around here, with guys like Mykolas from Electrocoin and so forth, and we like to support this part of the world as much as possible. And why is that? Because it was also discussed earlier in the earlier panel, people here lack financial education, financial literacy. They often fall for get-rich-fast schemes and lose their money very easily. So it is also our mission to enable these people, to give them access to the technology in a way that they understand. And that is why we have been trying to simplify the world of investing in cryptocurrencies by also taking the blockchain out of the equation because they don't understand it. So yeah, that's that.
The panel is called Developing the next layer, the next money layer, the future of money. And that's an interesting question with stablecoins. I mean, stablecoins are pegged to whatever, to the US dollar. That's 89% of the coins are there. We have euro stablecoins. We have ones pegged to gold or other assets. When it comes to stablecoins, where do you see, Mykolas, the future of these stablecoins? Why are they here? I mean, they're rather unsexy. I mean, stablecoins, so boring. Why is it so interesting still?
Well, stablecoins is money, and I don't believe money is boring, in a sense. And coming back to my earlier point...
money makes happy.
that back in 2009, when we saw the competition between the talent that sat in investment banks and the regulators and the rating agencies, so banks and bankers won, retail lost. Regulators didn't lose, retail lost. And right now we're in a similar situation where we've got so much talent in crypto and they're developing so many innovative products that rating agencies can't catch up, let alone regulators try and understand what's happening. And to avoid the things that happened back in 2008, it's crucially important that we work with the regulators together. And I believe that the European framework is exactly that, that allows to work together regulators and the blockchain industry. And to answer directly to your question, that the money will always, regardless of whatever and whoever will tell you, will always be governed by authorities. Governments will always control money. And therefore, it doesn't have to be issued by the government. It could be privately issued. But governments will always control. It has been for thousands of years. It will remain in the future. So the future of stablecoins is basically the way I see it. They have to be properly governed. So they have to be open for regulation. And they should have a flexible technology. So for that to have a proper global payment opportunity, global settlement opportunity, micro transactions, programmable money, and user operability. So for, we see situations like...
Is Bybit planning their own stablecoin?
Look, I cannot openly discuss the new products, but I can tell you there the power of innovation, of new products and services is just mind-blowing that we see. And I would really like to see more of that happening in Europe. And unfortunately, with a European regulation, that the innovation process is significantly slower in Europe than what we see in the United States or Asia.
Roger, when you hear what we are doing with stablecoins, we print digital money and say it's the US dollar, and we hand it over to people. What's your thoughts, given your history?
I follow this with high interest. Very often these ideas are born outside of Europe, I have to observe on myself. There is, for example, a DTC Pay in Singapore who made major steps forward in the whole Southeast Asia environment. They now, after heavy discussion with the CSSF, the Luxembourg regulator, they were able to open an entity in Luxembourg for the European Union. But all this is somewhere Singapore-based, coming to Europe with stablecoin behind. And what I somewhere miss a little bit is the feeling that Europe should walk a bit faster on these different things.
Europe should walk faster.
It's really what I see. I'm a little bit anxious. You know, my first encounter with the whole crypto environment was in Crypto Valley. In Zug, in 2016, 2017. After it was Liechtenstein with the blockchain law in 2020. These were my first encounters, which is good, but always somewhere the feeling that we are somewhere a little bit lagging behind. Perhaps it's wrong, but it's a perception. But we should go on, and it's good that Cosmoverse 2025 is in Split and not.
True.
It makes
Split makes sense. Is Europe?
Oh yes, and to come back to this region, I strongly believe that all what is going on from Tallinn all the way down to Greece, that's the future of growth from a European Union which is a little bit looking for growth. And the growth is here.
You know why? It's the scarcity.
Probably, yes.
So that's why. And that's why we innovate.
Yes. Dejan, when you talk about stablecoins, we are in stablecoin track. Where do you see the future of stablecoins? And of course, Kriptomat is dealing with stablecoins, I guess. You handle them, isn't it?
Maybe I can start with one practical example. Because at the end of the day, any new technology will get adopted if there is some sort of visibility of it, so if you can easily use it. So let's say now, as we spoke earlier, we are also we're in the process of getting licensed under MiCA.
Yeah.
And there is one particular part in MiCA.
So that's a nice formulation. You are in the process of getting licensed, so you don't have the license, but...
Not yet.
But you will get it soon.
Soon, you will.
Okay.
Yeah, coming
but
there.
when is the party?
But anyway, I will tell you.
Okay.
Anyway, so there is a special part in MiCA that says that a crypto as a service provider should be safeguarding customers' funds, so fiat funds, euros, in an account with a credit institution.
Yeah.
Okay, which is a bank. Now, there are not that many banks that want to work with crypto as a service providers.
Yeah.
Like in Estonia, for example, it's impossible for us to get a bank account with nobody. Okay.
So still you cannot get a bank account?
No.
So but you have a bank account?
We have bank accounts elsewhere, yeah. But, okay, but coming back to what I wanted to say, so what a company like us can do, we actually use stablecoins for that.
Yeah.
So whenever euros land on our bank accounts, we actually transfer those into euro stablecoin and show that to the customers, and we do not hold customers' euros. And it's an easy solution by using this technology that is now available to us.
Now I'm a moderator, but I also have a say in the stablecoins. We deal a lot with stablecoins because we do crypto tax advisory for large holders, companies, but also individuals, private. And of course, what they do is, because in many legislation, when you transfer from Ethereum to a stablecoin, it's not a taxable event. That's the reason why this is so sexy. I mean, just because you are still in the blockchain sphere, it's not considered a tax event. Only if you pay out, then you have to tax your profits. Or in some countries, if you buy NFTs, then you leave this legislation of blockchain to another digital asset, NFTs, or another asset, and then it's different. So that's also my answer why it's so interesting.
There's also many more vendors of ours who are actually providing services that we can pay the services in stablecoins. And absolutely we want to be doing that because let's say we do not have access to dollar. We cannot pay in dollars. There's no way for us. So using USDC, of course, then we can do it, and it's much easier for us. Those are the applications, the practical ones.
When we talk about different stablecoins, there are a lot. And there's even a rating agency. Standard & Poor's does a little bit. Moody's, that's the 2008, they rated the banks badly those days. There's a new stablecoin rating agency, it's called bluechip.org, US, together with the Vienna-based team. They rate these stablecoins. By the way, Tether has their rating of D. That's next to shitcoin. That's next to trash. So because they don't publish their... and Tether is the largest by far, the largest stablecoin ever. And they rate other. USDC has a B+ there, bluechip.org, if you have a look. And what we see is they rate 20 stablecoins, but I guess there are hundreds now. They say 600, 700. The Raiffeisen plus 9 other banks, German, Austrian banks, they made a euro stablecoin. And so the banks see also future. What is your guess when we talk about new money system? Will we have a few stable coins, maybe 5, 6, and we should have a look at that? Or will we have I don't know, Kriptomat, their own stable coin, Raiffeisen stable coin, I don't know, Croatian Bank stable coin? Will we have total fragmentation?
There's no one single solution. Same thing as what we have with monetary layers. So that we have bottom-up money, we have top-down money, we have fiat money. The fragmentation is a natural process, the transformation, and we see what works. Exactly the same thing with the stable coins. There's so many different stable coins right now. We'll have those in the future, and that's why rating agencies are very important. Because you make not blind trust decision where you say, well, stable.
They make a conference next week.
It says stable means stable, but they're actually assessed by certain agencies, and we've seen that, and it's still happening with the capital markets, where you have bonds and equity being assessed by the rating agencies, which makes the issuers work with the agencies, have more transparency, more disclosure, more risk management, better governance. And I think that is a very, very natural process. Fragmentation is a transformation process, and rating agencies, I think, that will play a certain role in it.
There is, by the way, even Cosmos, they have their own stable coins. One Noble is the largest. So even these layer ones, they issue their own stable coins. That happens. Do you see any, I mean, I come from, I was in Eastern Bloc countries, or in so-called Eastern Bloc countries, in holiday often when I was young. We had always to buy on the black market the cheap, you know, local money, lira, whatever, yeah, those local monies every second day or so. Because they depegged from the official rate, you could buy money cheaper somewhere else. Yeah, could this happen to stable coins, that we buy that cheaper? Roger, how do you see historically?
From a historical point of view, when you look what happened, the answer could be yes.
Yeah.
But is it something linear in the thinking? I don't know. But
yeah.
what I'm absolutely convinced, and the expert coming from the European Central Bank was quite clear yesterday morning. The euro, the physical euro, will not disappear. All these things will continue to coexist. I see very much a world where, in a blended way, why not use the word blended, where all these things somewhere move together, which means somewhere the end of the silos. But for me, as an observer, I still feel these silos, and this is probably something which will, over time, disappear in order to have something more efficient and more client-friendly, investor-friendly, consumer-friendly in the future. I'm quite optimistic, in fact.
So a silo would be if 9 banks, leading with the Austrian, for instance, Austrian Raiffeisen Bank, they make a euro stable coin. And that's a new way of, that's a kind of silo. A private company like Tether issuing a stable coin, like Circle, the second largest USDC stable coin. That's silos. And you think that will...
Yeah, it will somewhere consolidate.
Okay,
yes, and to have, because the goal of all these things is to have a better world, more transparent, more efficient, which also somewhere means somewhere cheaper, because the banks took a lot of money of all this system over time, which is unfair. I mean, look, I was a banker for so many years, but we took very often money, you know, margin on mortgage, margin on this, margin on that.
Yeah.
We should enter in a world where customers somewhere, they pay the right price. That's
interesting.
Perhaps a little bit naive, but that's
no,
what
naive
I
is
see
nice,
things,
or naive is sometimes nice.
Yes.
Before you go, maybe Dejan, a take on where we end up with stablecoins, the new future of money?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, so in average, it takes like 30 to 40 years for one disrupting innovation to actually start to be integrated into the community.
Yeah.
So, and this morning, on the first panel I was listening to, we were celebrating the white paper of Bitcoin, which means that we started as of today, at 2008. So this means we have some more time for this industry to future evolve and so on. And at the end of the day, it is the end users who are going to be deciding what they're going to be using. So it will be a kind of a merge of different things. I do not see that one technology would completely replace another solution and so forth, but I believe they will coexist. And the technology is supposed to solve the problems that we have.
Yeah.
So if the problems are how we transact and how we handle money, then I think that stablecoins will take an important part in this.
Okay. What I would allow, because you said we have talents here, maybe I would allow a question from the auditorium. If somebody dares and wishes, we have Bybit here. I mean, it's a large exchange, another exchange, an expert. Any questions? I just shout it out. If it's not loud enough, I will repeat the question, and then there's a chance. Anyone who wants? Yes, Alex,
Yes, in case someone has a question for our wonderful panelists, feel free to apparently shoot. If not, by the way, also for our next panel, feel free to drop me a message on the Thrilled Networking app and I can post them to the panelists, but that is slightly too late now. Is there anyone who has a burning question in their mind? If not, that's also perfectly fine and you can go to these gentlemen afterwards.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, of course. And even in your mother language, maybe with Dejan, yeah, of course. Last sentence, this conference, you like it? What makes you confident that crypto and Cosmoverse, Cosmoverse is here to stay?
brings a lot of talent first and naturally. And I think the fact that we're discussing the monetary questions and we're building on the shoulders of giants, of people who've actually created financial systems, and I hear a lot of people talking about disrupting the traditional finance, but we're actually standing on their shoulders and developing it further. And when we talk about stable coins, it's, you know, blockchain is like a roads of digital ecosystem. And stable coins are like vehicles transforming and taking a value safely from one place to another place and ensuring, A, it's instant, 2, it's liquid, and 3, it's universally acceptable. And that acceptability is developed by these ecosystems, by these participants who get together and create stable coins that move cross-border, cross-chains, cross-platforms, cross jurisdictions. And that's why I believe that these conferences are very important.
Thank you.
And I'm really happy to be here. You know, I come back to Crypto Cito this morning, that things are changing. I'm coming with banker shoes, I'm coming with my suit, I feel very much at ease.
It's fine. Roger, it's fine. You look really good.
Yes, but you know, I feel warmly welcome.
Yeah.
I have amazing discussion with all the people here. The community is opening.
Yeah.
It's the word institutionalized is also somewhere to be used. And no, I'm a very happy camper to be here.
Thank you for coming. Dejan.
Yeah, events like this are, in my opinion, very important because of the dialogue that we have here with other stakeholders. And I believe that this builds trust in our industry, because trust is something that we lack and we are still building. The more we are trustworthy, the more we are adopted. So,
that
yeah.
was a wonderful sentence. Thank you very much. Thank you for your audience. And yes, you are still around. Yes. Thank you.